Welcome back. Monday, April 7th. Gameweek 31 recap. Now that we are finally back in action after that long international break. We're just getting off that Newcastle-Leicester game, which was extremely boring after minute 11. And Leicester extended that goalless streak to a DPL game, so one off the record. But before we get into the recap of what happened over the weekend, let's get into the recap of our team, Dave. How did we do?
I'd say we did above average. We ended up with 58 points, which...
Solid.
This says the average is 26. I feel like that's too low. I don't feel like that factors in today's game yet. But anyway, we're going to be above average. 1.1 million in the game week rank, which ain't terrible. Arsenal did not get us the shutout, which was kind of our thinking. Raya 2, Saliba 2, Josko Guardiola did against my Red Devils for 9. Danny Munoz continues to be awesome. He scored. In the midfield, it was pretty much the Jacob Murphy show today. Because he had 2 goals in 10 minutes, 16 points.
Yes, he did.
The rest of our guys, Salah blanked again, second time in a row. Sarr, Bruno, nothing from those guys this week. JP Mateta, 8. Alexander Isak, 4. Ole Marmouche, 2. So
Isak 4 with the captaincy.
Yeah, with the captaincy.
Unfortunately, we thought that we were so smart after Salah got a 0, and now here we are.
Yeah, I mean, those were the 2 choices, and neither of them worked.
Yeah,
so
neither of them worked. So
we left some points on the bench with Morgan Rogers, but
yeah.
I don't think we were prepared to start him over Salah or Bruno or anybody like that.
Nope.
So yeah, 58 points for us. It was a bummer of a start, but with the way things started with Arsenal not getting that shutout, I think we'd take this result.
Yeah, I would take that. That was the Arsenal. They gave up the goal, in like the last couple minutes, correct? Is this...
No. That was
against
Fulham.
That's the second game in a row we've done this. Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
2 games in a row where we were depending on them to get a shutout and just couldn't pull it off. I mean, I don't want Raya and I don't want Saliba if they're not going to give me a shutout. But the double game week is mainly the reason they're here. So Gabriel's out too, which is not going to help the case for that defense. Timber is also slightly injured. So, it is what it is. But let's talk about what just happened over the weekend. And getting away from Arsenal for a second, I want to go back to what we started off with, which was a game that just ended. Newcastle versus Leicester. 3-0. One of the most boring second halves I've watched in a pretty long time. The ball basically sat in between the 2 boxes the entire game. No one was really looking threatening after those 3 goals in the first half. But Dave, specifically I want to ask you, because your boy is Ruud van Nistelrooy. Phil, you've heard it. He's backed Ruud, all right? Do you think the issues Leicester is having are more on the team structure or the coach? Because, let me just say, it's a bad roster. It definitely is, but Southampton has a bad roster. Ipswich has a bad roster, and they have scored goals in the last 8 game weeks, so... It sounds like the team, from what I heard from the announcers today, they are backing Ruud going into the championship. It sounds like they're going to look to blow up some of the team, keep the coach. Who's at fault, from your perspective?
I mean, Ruud's the coach, so he deserves some blame if your team's to score for 8 freaking games, but you can't polish turds.
I understand, but Southampton is polishing turds a little bit.
Are they? They have like 9 points.
Well, in recent weeks,
they're turds that score, but they're still turds.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Ruud did some decent things in his past as a manager. United actually played well in his 5 games he was in charge, but I just don't think he has a lot to work with. And it sounds like Leicester understands that if they're going to stick with him.
That's the word on the street.
But yeah,
they're going to back him.
They're tough. They're tough to watch.
I would say Ipswich, Southampton, and Leicester are probably 3 of the worst sides the Premier League has seen in some time. Because remember, we were talking about a relegation battle with Wolves,
who's now
a while ago, and now it's 14 points ahead. They've just been so bad, and sometimes you just need to reset. And I don't know, firing the coach is always the answer.
I think this is something that happens with teams in every sport, right? It's happening with our hometown hockey team, the Penguins, where you get to a point where you have this team that had an amazing run and you just haven't moved off some of these players. Vardy's still there. He doesn't look like he's an EPL player anymore. In the midfield, I can't remember his name right now. Ndidi?
Wilfred Ndidi.
Wilfred Ndidi, yes. He is there. He looks okay. He doesn't look like he's...
He didn't look like he did a couple years ago.
Exactly. So, they're finally, I think, now they're going back down to the championship. They're probably going to move off those guys. They're probably going to start from scratch, see if they can do it again. I mean, their run was incredible when they did it. But, yeah, I think it's just time for them to blow it up. So,
bye, Leicester.
Bye, Leicester.
See you later.
They'll be back, I think. I do think they will be back. All right, next. You mentioned it, Wolves. They've essentially put themselves in a safe enough spot that they're out of that relegation zone, especially after just talking about how bad those other three teams are. Strand Larson, he has 4 goals in 3 games. Guy's on fire. Cunha's coming back, though, so it will be interesting to see what happens with Strand Larson because he's better without Cunha. I think he made that clear. And Cunha's, are they just going to throw him back in, or are they going to leave Strand Larson in because they're still in 4th to last place?
I mean, they're going to play Cunha. I think he's their best
You think
player.
you think they're going to start him straight off?
Probably.
Because here's the thing, Strand Larson, to your point, he's not getting incredible goals. He's getting finishes. He's finishing
he's a
balls
9.
that are coming in. Yes. Whereas Cunha can create his own goal and make it look nice. So I would agree. I think Cunha's probably going to start, but we'll see. So I'm interested to see what they do.
Yeah, and I'm interested in Cunha as obviously, there's some doubles coming up, but if you need guys in your team that aren't doubling, he's a pretty good option. Schedule ahead is pretty good, so I'm definitely he's been my guy all year. You know that.
I know he has. I know he has. When he's not trying to fight people, he's pretty darn good.
I think he deserves fantasy points for that. But
the good news for
fun change.
The good news for Wolves and their fans, since Cunha's had whispers of leaving the team after this season, he probably will, just knowing how good he is. Looks like they have a guy, maybe not as talented as Cunha and Strand Larson, that can be their next number 9 next season. I'm not saying they're the same level player. I'm just saying he's proven that he can suffice. Without
I kind of wish Cunha were to stay because I do feel like watching 4 or 5 of Wolves game, they play much better than other teams that are way ahead of them in the EPL. And if they got 1 or 2 signings that brought everything together and they had someone like Cunha, if he kept a level head, I think they could have been fun to watch next year. But I think without him, he makes everything kind of make sense for them a lot of the times.
Yeah.
So they don't get good signings over the summer. I think they're going to probably go down next year.
They're going to be back in the same scrap they're in this year.
I mean, there's no guarantees leaving. It's just the word on the street.
No,
a lot of teams are looking at him.
He should. I mean,
for his sake,
he's way too
he
good.
definitely should.
There's rumors that United are looking at him.
Yeah, no one. Listen,
him and Osimhen,
ever
right?
since I already didn't trust the Man United.
I just wanted to trigger Sean.
Oh.
I already didn't trust the people that run that club. And then seeing how Antony is just lighting the world up just makes it even worse, okay? He looked like the worst player in the EPL on United. Now he's like a top 5 player on earth. So I got no...
All right.
I got no time.
If your whole argument is based around Antony, you need a different argument.
You just don't like him, and you never did. I remember you
I didn't
hated
like him
him
because
when
he wasn't
there.
very good.
Well, now he's good.
Well, if
He's
he comes
okay.
back, he's not
okay.
going to be good, and he's not. But he's not going to come back.
That's besides the point.
It doesn't
That's
matter.
besides the point. We're moving on.
But valid.
We're moving on. We're moving on. On to Liverpool, okay? They lost. Salah now has 2 blanks in a row after being, I believe, the most captain player again this week. That blank all but guarantees that he's not going to break both the scoring and assist record. The chances had already dropped down to like 8.6% that he could do that. With another blank, it's pretty much out of reach completely. KDB has the assist record at 20. Haaland has the goal record at 36. Salah's goals is 27, so that's probably out of reach. But the assists, it's not impossible.
Yeah.
The assist record, he has 17, I believe. So he's only 3 off. That's very much still in play. But I am a little nervous going forward with him. I just don't know if Liverpool feels like they have anything to play for right now.
I don't know. I'm not overly concerned about it. Maybe like when we get to the last game or two. But I think for now, I don't think they like losing. I think they want to play well and show people that they're not like, even though they're going to win the league easily, that they're not they were really good this year, and people kind of think it's a disappointment that they're only winning the league. So in my mind, I think they are going to want to go out and play well.
Yeah.
And
I think with Salah too, that's like another almost trophy for them if he were to break the record. At least probably a little bit in their mind that he could win the Ballon d'Or if he broke the record or got like 10 more goals, 5 assists. So I feel like they're going to keep trying to do that, but in the same breath, Salah has been very disappointing.
This is what I wanted you to make this point. You've been calling this all season.
This is not new.
Dave, we're just not on the same page today.
Listen, okay? Salah has been extremely effective and has scored goals, gotten assists, has a lot of PKs, but at the end of the day, you have to score them. But he hasn't played well. He hasn't taken Liverpool to the next level when they needed him. He's kind of just been that end product guy, which is great. But at 31, 32, if you compare him to some of the other guys that have similar returns in assists and goals across Europe, I would pick them over Salah in terms of form and just overall game plan, how they impact the game. So, again, the end product's been there, but I wouldn't say his season has been this remarkable play and where every single other play Salah's on the ball and he's making that impact and causing danger.
It might be more interesting if it was a closer race, but it's just so far away that it just every week feels like, Liverpool won, lost, who cares? It's essentially over. So that's probably not helping the case. Dave.
Well, I just want to say one more thing on the records.
Of course you can.
They play Leicester in 2 weeks, so he could have 5 goals and 3 assists in one game.
You're right. He very well
be right back on track.
He very well could. Yeah, listen, it could happen. The chances have dropped to 4%, but it could happen. Dave, City, I'm going to let you take this one because you are the Manchester United fan. So what were your thoughts on the derby? I know it was pretty boring overall, but what did you think?
I think I wish I would have slept in a couple more hours.
Watch some paint dry?
It wasn't the best Manchester derby there's ever been. United kind of have to play the way they have to play to stay in games now, and they kind of have to be a bit more conservative off the ball and take care of the defensive side of things first, which they're in transition. But this was more about City. I think I said probably a month or so ago that for FPL purposes, I was I think you need to buy 1 or 2 City assets because they have too many talented players. Their schedule is good on the way in. Eventually, I think I said, against the good teams, I think they've shown us what they are, but they play plenty of bad teams. And eventually, I think those quality players are going to come good and produce for you. I might have to backtrack that because they just look totally out of sorts. And against them, I know they don't have Haaland and they're not operating at their usual City level, but against a pretty punchless Man United team, they did not create much of anything. And I can't imagine, other than using Marmouche for the double, is there anybody in their midfield that you want to use?
No.
You're not going to use Phil Foden?
No, for the record, before we go any further, I think you already said it. We need to take Gibbs White, who we used to call Costco Phil Foden, and give the real Phil Foden that name because he has been awful. And a lot of people have him in FPL. He's doing nothing. He's not useful.
I think the two guys for FPL is Marmouche and Gvardiol. And you shouldn't extend past that. And
that's about all you got.
Kujanov hasn't started their last 2 games.
I don't think Savinho's going to score another goal.
Savinho didn't. I can't understand why he's not. He didn't play.
I don't know. We go Lewis up and down, really not worth it. If you're not going to get a shutout out of him. So there's really not a lot happening on that roster.
I just don't.
Now.
They look like the team that has already clinched the league and doesn't give a damn.
That is
they play. There was just that didn't even look like a City team. It was just a lack of energy in that game from them.
I agree. I also feel like Man United last 2 years have played them really well.
We have.
Compared to how Man United plays against other teams.
Yeah.
They rise up to that occasion and they don't want to get beat by City. And have they tied every single game against them this year? 3 out of 3?
Honestly, I don't even remember. I think City beat us earlier in the year. Let me look.
To your point, though, Dave, I don't know what's going on if they don't realize that he just dropped into 6th place, which is out of the UCL next season. But everything I see on social media, and granted, KDB, Kevin De Bruyne, has been an amazing player for them. He's been one of the best to ever do it in the EPL, and he's leaving after this season. And I keep seeing videos of him, waving to the fans. They're chanting his name. They just tied Manchester United. They shouldn't be that happy because they're not in the UCL. Like, I get it. You want to give him his farewell, give him his flowers, but wouldn't it be better to do that if you're also in a Champions League spot? Like, as a fan, I'd be upset if that's like what we're holding our hat on right now.
That'd be hilarious if they have to play in the Europa League.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
If I pull out my biased United fandom card.
It feels like they think they have a UCL spot locked, and they just don't.
Villa's playing well.
They're all playing well under them.
Newcastle's playing better.
Newcastle's playing great.
Where's Fulham now?
I think they're still.
Are they still
Fulham
games? Yeah.
They're probably.
I think they're in like ninth.
Bring it up, Dave.
Let me see.
I didn't check the
all those teams are right on top of each other.
They're in 8th.
They're in 8th. I think FPL purpose-wise, that's why you still feel like having 2 of their assets, especially with the double coming up, is important because there's just no way they don't make top 4, and they're going to have
top 4. Let's try top 5.
They're going to, I guess top 5 now, but they're going to have to turn it up somehow and at some point.
But we just don't know if they can. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. I don't know if
this roster looks weak. In general.
I mean, what are they going to do differently?
They're playing against worse teams.
I don't know, but we'll see what happens, Phil.
Also, United beat City earlier this year 2-1.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't think City's beaten United this year. Because in the
I've scrapped a lot of this season from my memory, but I feel like they. Excuse me. I feel like they did, but I'm not going to look it up at this moment. I'm just going to
assume. All right.
I'm just going to be glad that game is over this past weekend.
Well, speaking of very boring offenses and boring teams in this last week, Arsenal and Forest both struggle for goals again. We've talked about Arsenal ad nauseum. They do not have a forward. They're trying to play Mikel Merino, who's trying his best. It's not his natural position. They continue to struggle to get anything. I mean, Trossard had the goal, I believe, on a great play by him, but we shouldn't have to rely on Trossard to get your goals. And on the flip side, Forest, who, in their defense, tends to not score a lot of goals anyways, is struggling pretty mightily without Wood. I think Alonga had an amazing game, but I think without Wood,
don't bring that up.
Don't bring that up. They look why?
Because he went 100 yards with the ball against his former team, and then that's all anybody could talk about. And I just wanted to.
Yeah, that's true.
That was good defending.
That's a good point.
Just wanted to bury myself in the yard after that.
But the reason I bring these teams up because there's a lot of teams not scoring goals. This is number 2 and 3 in the league right now, and neither of those performances give you a lot of. I mean, I think they're probably set up to just stick where they're at to end the season. Not enough games left, but it just looks like it's going to be pretty boring from those two to end the season, and they're just going to kind of be where they're at. That's just my opinion on it. I don't know if when's Wood's coming back. We went from a non-injury to now out 2 weeks.
I don't think it's supposed to be serious, but
I think he's just older, and they're just letting it ride.
We said old people and hips.
Well, he has a plastic hip, I think.
Luke, you have bad hips. Shout out to you.
But no, I don't think Wood. Even he might miss like one more game. I don't have any like new information, but his injury is not serious. Like it sounded like he almost played in this game, but
I think Wood would be incredible if Isak gets hurt and actually doesn't play.
If Wood plays,
yeah, Wood plays because their fixtures
FPL purposes,
FPL purposes.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that.
Yeah, they don't play for 5 days, and then after this weekend, they don't play till the following Monday, so he gets 9 days. So
and they have easy.
Maybe he misses one more game.
Easy money. All right, and then last but not least, gotta bring him up again.
Well, it's definitely last and least.
Man, we talk about it every single week at this point. Cole Palmer, again. Another blank. He had 2 weeks ago. He had a 6-point return, I believe, on a really nice assist to his credit, a great cross. But outside of that, if you watch that game, it was uninspiring. I just, again, he's still owned by 41% of managers. Like, what do you guys think? Is there any reason that you'd be like, I want him again, or are you just totally out on him? Because I do believe they have
Ipswich.
Jackson's hurt again.
He's back.
I think he just got hurt again, though.
Did he?
I could be wrong on that. I
must have
thought
missed
I
that.
read that earlier today.
I think.
Would you bring him back in? Go ahead.
I think what you were saying, Dave, they play Ipswich at home, so that's obviously a tempting matchup. But then Fulham away, that's a tough game. And then who else?
No.
Who's next?
So doesn't matter. Everton, but it doesn't matter.
Everton, who's good defensively, and then they have a terrible schedule to finish the league. So I would chalk him off your team and not even think about playing.
Not for 10.7 million. No. And what did we say like a couple game weeks ago? It's like, all right, we're holding him. It has to happen. He gets Southampton and Leicester.
Yeah,
and he stunk it up in both those games. Yeah. And from that point on, I was like, well, he's off my team, and like I have to see it probably more than 1 week for me to consider bringing him back. And I don't feel any differently. No, Chelsea don't look great either. Still, so
I mean, maybe if you have him on your team already, and you've kind of molded him into your plans, you keep him 1 more week.
41%.
So. Maybe, but again, not recommending that. I would get rid of him and give your funds to someone else.
I think we all agree. I'm just not interested in watching the Cole Palmer train anymore. I'm over it.
I don't think there's anyone on that team that I'm.
No. And here's my problem. I think he's at a point where, he may go out and get a goal or an assist in a game. I don't think he has it in him right now to get like a hat trick or something. Like I don't think he's going to be the guy that's going to go pop off like he did against Brighton earlier in the season. It doesn't feel like that team has it in him right now. So I think the best you're going to get from a $10.7 million player is like 1 goal or 1 assist in a game. And I'm not about it. Give me someone else that can do. Jay Murphy just had 2 goals in a game with 5.1 million. There's players like that out there that I'd rather have.
Yeah.
I think Cole Palmer. Sorry to all you Blues out there. Hopefully he gets it back going in the next season, but it's a struggle right now.
I mean, he will. It's just been
his talent level is unreal, so he'll get it back. It's
been an odd season for him, and then the injury.
And the credit, and I do want to give him a little bit of credit because his team is not finishing anything for him. Nicholas Jackson will not finish a ball for that man. He's not getting a lot of help from his team.
Yeah, and let's not confuse FPL with real, like the actual games. Like I haven't watched some of the recent Chelsea games, but I know there's players that can play well and not get returns in an FPL that looks terrible.
He doesn't look good in the game.
He looks sluggish out there, like out of place.
I think it's the whole team. They just don't look like put together at all. Yeah. Nothing about them looks put together. That's just my opinion. I know everyone watches the game differently, but for me, like I see him and he looks like he's just not happy or not comfortable. And he was earlier in the season.
He probably knows he's 40% owned.
41. That's what does it.
Letting managers down left and
Absolutely.
Right. I wouldn't play well.
He probably dropped himself off his own team.
Yeah. He's like, damn it, I'm going to lose this game week.
All right. Those were the major topics of the week, but I want to end with one question for both of you based on what we've seen recently. So we had our UCL conversation. We had our video recently. Check that out if you haven't watched it yet.
That's the video where Phil and I are right, Sean's wrong.
Yep.
To be determined. To be determined in the next 2 days. To be determined. But we decided as a group, not individually, but as a group, we thought Real Madrid was going to have more than enough to take down Arsenal, and we thought PSG, the same thing, more than enough to take down Aston Villa. We had that conversation a little over a week ago. Has anything changed in your minds going into the UCL tomorrow? Do you think either Villa or Arsenal could get an upset?
I'll take Madrid and you take Villa. I think not because of Arsenal, but because of Madrid.
So you think?
I think if
Madrid's
one team right now that
now?
could, their last.
Yeah, I saw they just lost. Yeah.
If there's one team that could make Arsenal look good again, it's probably Madrid right now because they're so disorganized. Based off of they couldn't beat Valencia, is one of the worst teams I've seen.
Would you change your opinion? You still think?
I think
you got to give it.
Because it's UCL. I still think Madrid can make it happen. Yep.
I am in your camp on that one. I still don't think Arsenal can score a goal.
Welcome to my camp.
I just don't think Arsenal could score a goal. I don't think anything's changed on that team to tell me that they're going to go score more goals. Saka is back. That's great.
Yeah.
But they still don't have a forward.
I don't think they're going to get blown out. I think it's going to be a fairly close two-legged tie. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't think Arsenal are going to threaten Madrid a whole lot.
It's going to be a classic Madrid UCL win.
And we covered it all.
It's going to be 3-1 on aggregate or something.
Yeah. We covered it all. If you want to know what we said, check that video out.
Suck it, Ryan.
Second.
So Villa PSG.
Villa PSG. This one's more interesting to me because I do think Villa's playing really well right now. But what do you think about that game?
I still think PSG is going to win.
Okay,
but
so
it is the tie
changed.
that I probably want to watch the most of the quarterfinals, I think.
Has it gotten closer in your mind, right? I think a week and a half ago it was like it's just PSG's going to be close, but this is going to be too much. Has that game gotten closer
for me because I feel like I'm going to go back to I feel like Marcus Rashford can make a real big difference for Villa because he's playing really well, and I think Villa's doing a lot of like squad rotating right now because they play like basically every 3 or 4 days for like the last 3 weeks until the end of April.
Yeah.
But like I think they're gonna put Watkins and Rashford on the field together,
Mr. Rajas.
And so I think it's like they're a good attacking team.
Yeah.
And if Rashford to me, he's the X factor. Like he can show up and sway that tie in their favor. I don't think it's going to happen. I still think PSG are going to win.
So you still think PSG is going to win?
So I think they're
the
best team.
The end goal. So we're still on Arsenal. But we're still on Madrid and PSG.
It does interest me to watch. I really want to watch.
I think the game got a lot more interest.
We did do that.
I
remember. I was
Lukaku and Rashford.
I was losing my mind during that game.
Carrying United.
All right, we're done. That's the recap.
See ya.
We're out of here. No, just kidding. We are out of here though. So that part's true. Find us on X. Find us on Instagram. Twitter. Listen to us anywhere you listen to podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, comment on the videos. All that stuff is free. We really appreciate it, and it really helps us out. We'll be back here giving another recap next week. And with that, see ya.
See ya.
Bye.